Victim blaming is when someone is judging someone's decisions without understanding the conditions that shaped those decisions. The psychology requires a lot of compassion to understand, because the first person who does victim blaming is often the survivor themselves. Why? Why does the survivor do this? Because it is very difficult for them to face the reality that someone was deliberately abusing them, that someone they trusted was deliberately manipulating them. So instead of facing this, which will bring on overwhelming grief, overwhelming anger, overwhelming powerlessness, they cover it up with the illusion of control. That if I hold myself responsible, if I manage myself here on after, then maybe this will not happen to me. So instead of looking at what was happening to them, they start asking, what did I do wrong? This is an illusion of control that they are maintaining in order to not look at the grief and the powerlessness of the situation. So, how does this work? Manipulation is never a one off event, it happens gradually. Your confidence is reduced, your options become unclear, your sense of self worth, your identity starts to change, and you start to see reality in a different way. After achieving all of this, after having shaped your reality such, is when normally the manipulator will start to get you to make decisions that are in their interest rather than your own. So, what would have seemed impossible for this person to do now seems like the safest option. That is how manipulation works. So, if they were not being manipulated gradually like this, they would look at that as an impossible thing to choose. But after all of that manipulation, it looks like the safest option. One of the best examples is a spouse who is experiencing abuse, physical abuse. Obviously, nobody wants to be physically abused, but after that manipulation, it becomes the safest choice to stick with the same person. That's how their identity has been changed. They have been made to believe that they deserve it. Okay, so now why does the society victim blame? We've understood why the survivor is doing this. Why are other people also blaming them? Because of the same reason. They want to maintain their sense of safety, they want to maintain the illusion of control. Because if they also come face to face with the fact that the world is not predictable and it's not fair, and our justice systems are not robust enough to keep equilibrium in our society, then it will become very difficult to be in the world. So instead, they want to blame the victim and think that if I don't do those things, then this will never happen to me. Now, when this is happening to you, if you are a survivor and you're finding yourself blaming yourself, here's what you can do. Instead of asking the question, what did I do wrong? Ask the question, what were the things that were happening to me that were shaping my decisions? So instead of having the narrow lens of what was your contribution, look at the broader picture. What was happening that was shaping those decisions? Every time you do it, each time you do it rather, your lens will broaden, 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 and you will be able to see your past actions with more honesty than shame. Okay, so this practice is not to abandon responsibilities for future actions, it is to look at the past with more honesty instead of shame. Remember that manipulation doesn't always require to overpower your will. Manipulation doesn't always mean that they need to overpower your will. Sometimes it means that they will recruit your will as well. So this is probably what happened to you. And looking at it in this way will help you appreciate your past with more honesty rather than shame.